But you don't care, you're unaware. Keep moving like the scars aren't even there. It's in the air, like a blazing flare. Don't stare, cause the flames will burn us. I thought you were the one for me. That's why I gave you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas. Oh, you meant the world to me. I used to kiss your head when you cried for me. Hold your hand while the pain was over. Keep you warm by the roaring sea. You meant the world to me.
Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today I'm doing What If Deku was SCP-049, Part 1. In case you guys do not know who SCP-049 is, SCP-049 is a humanoid creature who wears a old bubonic plague mask, or what most people call it today, a plague doctor mask, or a plague mask, whatever you want to call it, or just a crow beak, whatever you guys want to call it. He wears an old bubonic plague mask, or plague doctor mask, plague mask, whatever. And his abilities are he can see a disease that most people can't see. And if he touches someone, he can turn them into his mindless slave. So yeah, that's a small little description of SCP-049. You guys will learn more about him as the What If continues. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. And while you're at it, United States of smash the bell icon to be notified when I post a new video. Because you guys would not want to miss part 2 to this video, would you? Or even another video, because I do plan on getting quite a few videos, or at least 4 videos out this weekend, like this weekend, yeah, in general. So, if you guys want to see those videos, like, on time, like, be the first one to be there, make sure to hit the bell icon. And another thing, if you want to have the chance of directly talking to me, like me, because normally if you comment on the video, I won't normally see it. I mean, I do go through there, but I don't normally reply. I do sometimes, but I don't reply all the time. But if you want a almost 100% United States of America, or United States smash on reply, you guys gotta join my Discord. Link will be in the description. And if you want to help me choose the thumbnail or in the next video, make sure you join. That's just another reason to join. So yeah, and I'm sorry if you guys are hearing my notifications going off. I have a lot of notifications right now, so sorry about that. And another thing, if we can hit 2,000 subscribers before Halloween comes around, I will do What If Deku is Jack Skellington, or What If Deku was a ghost for my 2,000 subscriber special. But here's the catch, something that I wouldn't normally do. If we can hit it, I will, and I'm talking I will, dress up as Deku for Halloween and dye my hair green. So if you guys want to see me dye my hair green, you need to United States of smash that subscribe button. And go ahead and grab your Molotov and throw it on the like button. Because you gotta show that you really want to see me dye my hair green. So yeah, if you want to see me dye my hair green and put on some makeup, freckles, and dress up as Deku, you better go ahead and throw a Molotov onto that like button in United States of smash the subscribe button. And also, make sure you have those notifications on, because you won't want to miss that 2,000 subscriber special. So yeah, I feel like I have definitely talked long enough. So now that we have gotten that out of the way, let's start. So we're going to start this what if off here real quickly. I'm going to get a drink. Go ahead while I'm getting this drink. Go ahead and get all relaxed. Make sure you got your headphones. Maybe even a snack. Alright. Now we can start. Alright. So we're going to start when Deku is 4 years old and he's going to the quirk doctor. So Deku gets to the quirk doctor and he's so excited. He can't wait to find out what his quirk is and how it could help him become a hero, become the number one hero like All Might. So he gets into the doctor's office room and the doctor says this. I'm sorry, son, but you do not have a quirk. If you see right here, this young boy does not have a joint right here. That means he doesn't have a quirk. And that means he's now classified as useless. So, if you want, I can go ahead and get the adoption papers to put him into an orphanage. Would you like me to get those? And Inko says, how dare you even think that I would put my son up for adoption because he didn't have a quirk. Quirks are not everything. It's heart that makes a hero, not their quirk, not their strength, their heart. That's what makes a true hero. Because if heroes can't save people with dignity and honor in their hearts, then it might as well be a villain saving that person. So even without a quirk, I'm sure my son will make the best hero on the planet. But deep down, Inko knows that she should probably sign the adoption paper, the foster papers, because her and her husband, or Deku's dad, had been planning on Deku getting his quirk for a long time. And they had been piling up money to get him into UA. They almost went broke because they had put so much money into Deku's UA what is the word I'm looking for? I don't know. Degree, to get him into UA. And Deku's dad had put so many bets on Deku getting into UA and put bets on his quirk. And his mom had even joined in on those bets. Their entire life savings, everything they had earned, went to Deku and getting into UA and becoming the number one hero. So she knows because Deku didn't get a quirk, they're gonna lose everything. Their house, their money, everything. So, Inko, with fury in her eyes, she looks at Deku as he's just bawling his eyes out. As he looks towards his mom and asks her, Mommy, why did I not get a quirk? Like Kachan? And Inko picks him up and says, Honey, you better stop those tears. You better stop them. 'Cause soon you're gonna have a reason to cry. So save your tears. As she starts dragging Deku out. Deku doesn't know what his mother meant, but he's just too heart-stricken to even think about what she said, so he just keeps on crying. When Deku gets home, he immediately goes straight to the computer and starts watching that same video of All Might. Then Deku's dad gets home. Inko! How's my favorite wife? What is wrong with your eyes, Inko? This is a time for celebration. You know? Why are you looking at me like that? I can tell by your eyes something's not right. That stupid kid, he didn't get a quirk, did he? He didn't. I just lost my entire life savings because of that, Inko. As he grabs her shoulder and starts squeezing it. As he pulls her down and points her head up to look at him. As he says, "We just lost everything, Inko. Everything. Do you understand that, Inko?" As he shoves her to the ground, causing her to bust her head open. As he starts walking towards Deku's room, each step hitting the hard wood like this. Then he gets to Deku's room. He gets to the door. He peeks it open to look in. Deku's just sitting there watching that All Might video, bawling his eyes out. Deku turns around and points at the screen and says, "Dad, will I ever be like him?" As Deku's dad throws the door open and says, "No, because you're useless. You have no quirk." As he throws Deku out of the chair and pulls out his belt and says, "I am going to make you regret it. I am going to kill you where you stand. So know, everything I got you in this room, you will no longer own. This is no longer your stuff. We're gonna have to sell everything." And you know that stupid All Might video? As he grabs the computer and he throws it on the ground. As he looks at Deku with a smirk and says, "You're never going to watch this video again. Never!" As he starts stomping on the TV and stomping and stomping and stomping on it until eventually his foot goes straight through the screen as he pulls his foot out. And then Deku's dad says, "I'm gonna go get something. I'm gonna go get something, you little crap. You little brat. I'm gonna kill him. As he heads into the kitchen and grabs some brass knuckles and goes back into Deku's room. Deku has crawled over to a corner, and Deku's just quivering in fear as he's wondering what's going on and why his dad is acting like this. Then Deku's dad grabs him by the shirt and punches him in the gut. Deku spits up blood as he drops to the ground. "Dad, why are you doing this to me? Why?" As Deku's dad punches Deku in the cheek, knocking Deku back onto the ground. As Deku's dad lifts him back up and starts punching him non-stop in the stomach. Deku just keeps on coughing blood up. Every few punches, Deku will cough up a lot of blood. After about 5 punches, Deku's dad throws Deku onto the ground. Deku tries to crawl away as he screams for help. "Help! Please! Help! Help!" as Deku just about makes it out of his room, as Deku's dad grabs him by the legs and drags him in as he closes the door. Then Deku's dad looks back at Deku, who's trying to crawl towards the window. Deku's dad says, "You know, you little brat, I'm gonna make you pay for not having a quirk," as he lifts Deku up and slams his head into the wall. Deku drops to the ground in pain as he screams for his mom, who's unresponsive. Deku's dad lifts him up onto his knees, and then Deku's dad clenches his fist, and with all of his strength, he right hooks Deku in the cheek, KOing Deku. Deku falls to the ground, hitting his head on the ground. As Deku's fading in and out of consciousness, he almost thinks he sees some kind of bacteria, but he knows that's impossible. As he falls asleep. Then Deku has a dream, where in that dream Deku sees himself as himself just starts walking towards him. As he walks right through Deku. Deku turns around to look at himself, and he sees where he's walking. He's walking towards his dad, who's in a corner quivering just like Deku was all those years ago. That Deku looks behind him as if he thought he saw someone. As he looks back and says, "You have the pestilence, father. Let me cure it for you." As two zombie-like figures walk through the doorway carrying Deku's mother. Deku screams for his mom, but she can't hear him. The Deku that he's looking at turns around as if he heard someone, and he knows he heard someone. He starts walking towards Deku, and he stops right in front of Deku as he looks around. As the Deku turns around to see his father trying to escape, that Deku throws a knife at his knee, or at like the behind of your knee, like that area, as Deku's dad falls to the ground in pain. As Deku says, "Don't worry, I'll cure your pestilence. I will save you from the agony that you caused me all those years ago. And don't worry, mother. I will make sure that you get the best treatment. I will not let the pestilence take you over." As he looks back at his father and pulls him up and slams him onto a table. As he tells two more of those zombie creatures to zip tie him to the table. As Deku puts a bag on the table and opens it up. All kinds of medical supplies are in it. But the one Deku picks up is a scalpel. As Deku closes the bag and puts it back on the ground. And he says, "Don't worry, father. I will have your pestilence gone in no time." As he makes this little incision in his father's clothing, as he rips his father's clothing off. As he says, "Don't worry, it's not gonna hurt. Well, for now it is." As Deku pushes the knife onto his father's stomach and starts making the incision. His father starts screaming in agony. Deku has never heard this kind of screaming before, but for some reason, he feels like he's heard it somewhere. He feels like he's heard it 1,000,000 times, and he just can't tell why. As when the incision is finally finished, Deku reaches into his father's stomach and starts feeling around for something, till eventually he comes across what he was looking for, as he grabs a hold of it and rips it out. It was his heart. As Deku says, this is what is infected with the pestilence, as he crushes the heart. And then Deku starts stitching his father up, as his father reanimates. With almost unnatural movements, the head turns and looks at his wife, and with almost unnatural mouth movements says, "It's fine. He will save you." His mother, Deku's mom, or Inko, screams and screams as she tries to wiggle loose, but the zombie creatures just squeeze harder as their nails dig into her arms. As Deku says, "Stop squeezing her arm. It's causing her discomfort. And my patients, especially family members, do not need discomfort before the surgery." As the zombies let go a lot, like loosen their grip a lot, as he tells the zombies to put her on the table and zip tie her down. As Deku walks towards his mother and does the same thing, rips off her shirt and makes the incision. He sticks his hand inside as he starts feeling around, till eventually he comes across it, and he grabs a hold of it and starts ripping it out. No, pulling it out. It's her intestines. As when Deku's finally got it all out, he says, "That's it. This was infected." As he throws it away and stitches her back up. As she falls onto the ground in pain, as she starts inching away, as he says, "Oh, it appears it didn't work. I guess I'll have to do this the old-fashioned way." As Deku puts all 5 of his fingers on the back of her head, as she starts screaming in agony, as she turns into one of those zombie creatures, as she starts flailing around, making movements that shouldn't even be possible with the human anatomy. And then she sits up with a large crack, like... And she looks in Deku's direction and says, "Come have the surgery." As they all start walking towards Deku, Deku screams and falls down into a puddle. And Deku wakes up. For the next 6... No. How many years? Let's say 5 years. Yeah, 5 years. Deku would be constantly abused, and Deku one day had enough of it. Deku pulled a knife from the drawer one day and snuck into his parents' room and stabbed them both. As Deku then opens his eyes, for the first time, as he looks down at their lifeless bodies and sees the pestilence. Deku's eyes widen as he says, "Fascinating. I never thought I would see something like this. This is revolutionary. I've never seen a disease like it. It's not cancer. It's not COVID. It's not anything. This is an unknown disease. I'm gonna call it pestilence. Yes. Why is that name? It just rings in my mind. Pestilence. 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 Yes. Pestilence." As he looks all over the room to see that the pestilence is everywhere. The pestilence is in the air. Deku quickly covers his mouth and runs out. When Deku walks out, he sees the pestilence everywhere. On every person, on every building, on every sidewalk. The air has pestilence in it. Everything is contaminated. Deku now has set his goal and eyes on destroying the pestilence. Deku realizes what he'll have to do in order to cure people of this disease, but he knows it will be worth it for humanity, as he can see that the pestilence is slowly killing everyone. Deku quickly runs out. And Deku, from that day on, would do vigilante missions. He wouldn't do it for money. He wouldn't do it for fame. He would do it to eradicate the pestilence. Till one day, Deku is stalking a pregnant woman, mid-20s. She's walking down the street when she takes a shortcut through an alleyway. Deku then walks out from behind a corner and looks at her and says, "Your baby has the pestilence, and so do you. I can cure you of this disease, but it will cost you, unfortunately. It will be you or the baby, unfortunately. Which one would you rather have cured?" As she screams and tries to run off, but Deku throws a throwing knife at her, hitting her in the shoulder, knocking her onto the ground. Deku walks up to her and pins her on the ground as he starts to make the incision. As Deku says, "Don't worry, it will only hurt for a second, and it will save your baby's life." As he tears open the woman, as she screams in agony, as she not only feels fear for her life, but she feels fear for her baby's life, and she fights with everything she has. As Deku finishes the incision and reaches inside and finally finds the uterus, he grabs the baby and pulls it out of the mother. He sets the uterus on the ground, but she's still resisting. Deku says, "Alright, in order to save your life, I'm gonna have to do this." As Deku remembers what happened in that dream, and he tries to recreate it, he puts all 5 fingers on her, and he tries to recreate it, but he is unable to. So Deku grabs his scalpel and stabs her in both eyes. Deku stitches back up the woman and leaves her there. He grabs the baby and starts the surgery. He makes the incision from the chest to the waist and opens up the baby. As Deku realizes the baby cannot be saved. As Deku throws the baby in a trash can and says into a recorder, "Another failed attempt at destroying the pestilence. It appears it doesn't just infect a single organ or piece of the body. It seems..." Oops, sorry about that. Like I was saying, spread across the body. Maybe it was already like this, but I just only learned about it 1 or 2 years ago. Still haven't had enough research done. I will update you on further notice." As Deku ends the recording and starts walking away with his hands in his pockets. One night, Deku's just sitting up on a rooftop with his favorite red knife, as he's just admiring the scenery, but he just can't help but be reminded of the screams of the pregnant lady and the crying of her baby, as Deku slaps himself and reminds himself what he is fighting to save, as he looks around to see the pestilence everywhere. As a man walks up to him and says, "How would you like to have all the test subjects in the world?" As Deku turns around, facing his knife towards the person, and he realizes the person's face is all messed up. But the person doesn't have pestilence. He doesn't have it. He doesn't have the disease. Deku asks the man, "Who are you? And how are you the only person I've met who doesn't have the pestilence?" As the man says, "Calm down. I am here to make a deal with you. And for your information, I am all for one. My mission is to tear down hero civilization, as they are corrupting the world. As you, my fine doctor, should know that heroes can't save everyone. That's why I think you should be able to use your quirk even without a hero license. You should be able to save someone in dire need without repercussions. And you shouldn't have to rely on heroes. You should be able to get into these schools for free. You shouldn't have to have a quirk to be super." As Deku says, "So about these test subjects," as All for One says, "Yes, if you join me, you will have as many people at your disposal as you want. And from my information gatherers have told me, you don't have a quirk. So how would you like if I gave you one?" As All for One hands him a mask, as Deku looks at it and says, "That's an old bubonic plague mask. How did you get it?" As All for One says, "That's not important. All that is to keep you safe from this disease. I don't need my best doctor getting this disease, do I?" As Deku says, "No, you do not," as he puts on the mask and grabs his robe and throws it around him as he puts it over his head, as he says, "I will join you as long as I get my test subjects." As All for One says, "That is fine by me." And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where I'm going to end this episode off here. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. And while you're at it, United States of smash the bell icon to be notified when I post a new video. And don't forget, if we can hit 2K before Halloween, I will dye my hair green and cosplay as Deku for my costume. So yeah, peace out.